Did you know that it wasn't until 1849 that the first female doctor graduated from a medical college? That females weren't allowed to practice medicine until that time in history? It's pretty crazy to think about, considering how many female doctors, surgeons, and nurses we have now. Elizabeth Blackwell made a difference in the lives she helped and in lives around the world. Elizabeth Blackwell was born in England in the town of Bristol to Samuel Blackwell and Hannah Lane on February 3, 1821. Because the family had financial problems and her father worked to abolish slavery, they moved to the United States in 1832. After 6 years in the United States, and when Elizabeth was 17 years old, her father died. As the years progressed, her mother and two older sisters worked as educators. While Elizabeth was in her mid-20s, a friend she had was suffering from a terminal illness and was too embarrassed to go to a male doctor. The friend suggested that she would have been better off having a female physician. Because Blackwell was affected by her words so much, she decided to pursue a career in the medical field. But Blackwell didn't like science one bit. She hated anything to do with the human body or medical books. She would have much rather have studied history or metaphysics. But because Blackwell was so deeply heartened by her friend's words, she decided to pursue the career. With this new idea in mind, she didn't know how to get started on becoming a doctor. She talked to many physicians that were known by her family. The doctors told her that it might be a good idea, but impossible, way too expensive for her, and the education wasn't available to women like her. But that didn't stop her from searching on how to get into a college. She ended up convincing two physicians to let her study medicine for 1 year, and later that year, she applied to all the medical schools in New York and Philadelphia. She also applied to 12 other schools in the Northeast states. She was accepted by Geneva Medical School in 1847. Her acceptance into Geneva Medical School was very shocking, and the student body saw it as a joke. But that didn't stop Blackwell from pursuing her careers and working hard. Blackwell graduated from Geneva Medical College in 1849, becoming the first woman to become a doctor. After graduating, she returned to Europe and worked in London and Paris for a while. While working as a doctor there, she contracted a disease from an infant, which left her blind in one eye, and the dream of her becoming a surgeon wasn't real. She spent a little while longer in Europe and later returned back to the United States and established her own private practice in New York City. After a few more years in New York City, she returned again to Europe and established a college. She set up her very own private practice and was a lecturer at the London School for Medicine for Women. This was a very big deal for her, and she got lots of praise for it. As she got older, her health started to deteriorate, and she ended up moving to Hastings, England. She died on May 31st, 1910, in her home. Elizabeth Blackwell opened the door to medical research and having women become doctors. This is still a very big event to this day. Without all the women that are doctors, who knows where we would be and how far in advancement we would have in the medical world. Elizabeth Blackwell was a very influential person in history, and she will not go down being forgotten.